You have your water in a bowl and find the papers that were sent to you in the mail for our water ritual. And as I ring the bell, I'd like to invite you to center yourself and prepare for our opening music that Rip will be playing from our sanctuary. You have your water in a bowl and find the papers that were sent to you in the mail for our water ritual. And as I ring the bell, I'd like to invite you to center yourself and prepare for our We gather on this day, full of gratitude that we may be together again, even in this virtual format, even with spaces between us, even from our separate homes. We gather to feel the connections that we share, the community we create, the bonds that we have fostered. Bring with you the moments of your lives, your whole selves. Bring the tender places of sorrow, the hurt which lurks beneath the surface, threatening to collapse the carefully stretched canvas of your life. Bring the aching places of fear, the alarm which waits like a bell ready to ring. Bring as well your quiet place of hope, the seeds which have been planted in every worship experience we have shared together. Bring, oh, bring your readiness to feel joy once again, that tiny spring at the center of your being, which waits for a moment to bubble up into a strong fountain of joy. Together we gather at the river of life. Come, let us worship. And let us join together as we listen to our introit, Shall We Gather at the River?
Shall we gather by the river, where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. That flows by the throne of God.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pratik Mamtora. I am so glad and excited to be with everyone this morning. For those who may be meeting me for the first time, I am the new parish administrator at First Parish in Lexington. I enjoy working with people, families, and children of all ages. I was born and raised Hindu, went to a Roman Catholic school, love Buddhist Zen practices, and was introduced to Islam by friends I lived with in London. I've been a UU for over a decade. Before coming here, I have served Unitarian Universalist congregations in New Jersey, northwest suburbs of Chicago, and upstate New York. I consider myself as a Hindu with two U's. In my spare time, I love being on stage performing in musicals and plays at community theater. My commitment to FP Lex is to honor, love, and serve everyone I meet, or e-meet in this case. My personal motto is to spread joy and enthusiasm wherever I go, plus advocate diversity and uniqueness where we all get to be ourselves and fully self-expressed. Once again, it is my privilege to be with all of you here today. For today's chalice lighting, I borrow these words from Christine Evangelo. Sometimes the things we do second time around are better and hold more value because we take the time to reflect and review them through a higher love. Don't be afraid to try again and do over with greater wisdom, a fresh set of eyes, and a renewed hope. Life is not a straight line of first time successes. It is the road that is paved with failure and seemingly wrong turns that provides us with character, emotional grit, and inner muscle to find new perspectives. The only expiry date to your dreams, intentions, or goals is the one you allow to soak into your soul. Please rise with me in body or spirit to sing hymn number 360 from the Gray Hymnal. The words will be displayed on the screen.
Here we have gathered side by side. Circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matters small and great. Of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. Who now may gather, know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song.
What a blessing it is to hear our organ once again. Thank you so much, Rip. Our reading this morning is from the Tao Te Ching, chapter 8, from a translation by Feng and Jane English. The highest good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things and does not strive. It flows in places men reject, and so is like the Tao. In dwelling, be close to the land. In meditation, go deep in the heart. In dealing with others, be gentle and kind. In speech, be true. In ruling, be just. In business, be competent. In action, watch the timing. No fight, no blame. My reflection this morning is called The Way of Water. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient source of wisdom, of sayings from the 8th century BCE, attributed to the ancient Chinese sage Lao Tzu. It has long been a source of wisdom for me as I return to these beautiful words over and over, especially in times when my spirit is troubled, times like these. I find the words to be soothing, sometimes confusing, but always engaging. When I was a teenager, surprise, surprise, I often found myself embroiled in the drama of my life. Tempers would flare, misunderstandings would happen, and I would race out of the house looking for a place of peace and quiet. I suspect many of you have been in that situation as well. Time after time, I found myself next to a small stream which ran through my village. I would go down under the bridge to a narrow bank next to this overflowing rush of water, and I would allow the sound, the smell, and the texture of the water to rush over me. Sometimes I found myself fixating on a small boulder which held its own in the stream, and I would watch the water flow around it, rearranging itself as it resumed its rush downstream. Waxing philosophical, as teenagers often do, I would identify the problems in my life as the boulders standing in the way of the water. And with each renewal of flow, as the water shifted course around the boulder, I realized that the problems in my life were not large enough to impede the energy of the water. The water was gentle, but powerful. It softly, but surely made its way around the problem. And so I learned to realize the power of water. And when I learned of the Tao, I realized that I was not the first person to find wisdom in the flow of water. Here are the words of chapter 78 of the Tao Te Ching. It says, under heaven, nothing is more soft and yielding than water. Yet for attacking the solid and strong, nothing is better. It has no equal. The way can overcome the strong. The supple can overcome the stiff. Under heaven, everyone knows this, yet no one puts it into practice. Chinese wisdom teaches that power has a feminine and a masculine side. The feminine, called yin, is soft and yielding, dark and receptive. The masculine, known as yang, is bright and hard and active. Identifying myself as feminine, I embraced the yin part of me and found strength in the qualities of the receptive and the dark, the softness of love, the yielding strength of gentleness. And the beauty of this system of philosophy for me is that the yin needs the yang and the yang needs the yin. They both exist, defining each other and needing each other to exist. The shadow cannot exist without the light. Yet as I have aged and embraced the non-duality of gender identification, I no longer see the world in such a union of opposites. Rather, I like to explore both the yin and the yang within myself. And when I see a person who feels boxed in by their own limitations, I encourage them to explore another side of themselves. We need to feel both the light and the dark, the soft and the hard, the creative and the receptive. And we need to find these within ourselves and inside each other. And so I return again and again to the Tao. I love verses such as this end of chapter 78. Though the sage says, he who takes upon himself the humiliation of the people is fit to rule them. He who takes upon himself the country's disasters deserves to be king of the universe. The truth often sounds paradoxical, says the Tao. And so I wonder if our current political extremities might benefit from some of this wisdom. One who takes on humiliation, the tender, painful, uncomfortable truths of our situation, that person is fit to lead. We must acknowledge our mistakes and our failures if we are to ever truly move into leadership. Somehow I do not see that sense of humility in our current administration. Quite the opposite. A leader who always claims that things are not my fault is not fit to lead. A leader who claims to be a cheerleader for the economy while ignoring a pandemic which has claimed thousands of lives is not fit to lead. The Tao, known as the Way, is the way of water. I understand the Tao to be the energy of life, that flow which, if we could jump aboard, would take us where we need to go. The paradox of water is that it is so soft and gentle, and yet it is powerful enough to erode mountains. The Tao is soft, and yet it is powerful. Strength does not always come through tough striving with effort. Sometimes our strongest moments come in the small and gentle power of our love. And sometimes we need to stop trying to blast through our mountains of despair, stop separating ourselves from those with whom we disagree, stop our constant climbing the ladder of competition and effort. To get where we want to go, sometimes less effort used in a good way is actually more powerful, for the truth often sounds paradoxical. Tao chapter 32 says, the Tao is forever undefined. Small though it is in the unformed state, it cannot be grasped. If kings and lords could harness it, the 10,000 things would naturally obey. Heaven and earth would come together and gentle rain fall. Men would need no more instruction, and all things would take their course. Tao in the world is like a river flowing home to the sea. The way of water presents us with a path forward, a path which leads us home, like a river flowing to the sea. May the water of our lives help us to find the way through our divisions, through our sorrows, through our struggles. Have courage, my friends. No obstacle is so large that a way cannot be found to flow where we are called to go. But how do we find that way? We can choose to live in accordance with what Chinese call the Tao, the way. In our congregational language, we call it growing into harmony with the divine. Listen to this simpler translation of chapter 8. These words give instructions for living in harmony, even in these troubled times. Live in accordance with the nature of things. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In dealing with others, be fair and generous. In governing, do not try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to simply be yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. One who lives in accordance with nature does not go against the way of things. He moves in harmony with the present moment, always knowing the truth of just what to do. My friends, if we can choose to live like water, flowing downstream instead of always striving or climbing the ladder of stress, perhaps we too will discover the way of our true nature. Take time this week to examine how you are moving in harmony with the present moment. And if you feel that the world is moving in a direction that is the opposite of what you stand for, look for others who are moving in a different direction. For maybe that is the true way. There is a mass movement right now of people who are moving away from systems of oppression. Find these people, move with them in harmony with the present moment. Have courage, my friends. No obstacle is so large that a way cannot be found to flow where we are called to go. Amen. And blessed be.
Thank you so much, Reverend Ann. I invite you now all to join in reciting our unison affirmation, the end of which was referenced in Reverend Ann's sermon. May we all grow together as we share these words as a community. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Now is the time of our service where we collect our offering for the justice work, for the worship work, for the community work of this Unitarian Universalist congregation. You are all here in presence together and giving us a blessing of that. If today is your first day joining us on Zoom, we welcome you and we invite you to not click on the link today. Your presence is a gift to us. The link for our plate is in the chat. There's also a QR code on the screen that you can use your phone to be able to be brought to the PayPal to be able to make an offering for the life and work of First Parish. Thank you so much for your generosity of your time, talent, and treasure in this congregation.
I'd like to invite you into a time of meditation and prayer. As we enter this time together, there are some things I'd like to bring to your attention. First, I'd love to hold in our hearts all those, the thousands of people who have lost their homes through the fires in the West. This is a frightening time for our fellow Americans, and we hold them in love and support. I'd also like to let you know that our beloved Minister Emerita, Helen Cohen, had gallbladder surgery yesterday, and that I spoke to her this morning. She sounded good, and she sends her love, and she's hoping to be home today or tomorrow. And I'd like to share some news about our beloved Lou Counts, who came in for a wonderful concert on Thursday morning. Lou has been struggling, as many of you know, with leukemia, and this summer has been a difficult one for him. We know now that he is on the bridge to hospice, and we're so grateful that he was able to come in on Thursday and listen to a concert that Rick Jackson played for him and for his daughters, Laura and Margaret. It was so beautiful to see this photograph of Lou, who has been our church photographer And he is actually in this picture. So enjoy this photograph of our beloved Lou and hold him and Connie and the family in your hearts, because it will be, I think, a challenging week or two for them. But Lou, you are surrounded by love for all of us. Thank you. And now I hope that you can find your glass of water and pick it up and allow yourself to participate in this water meditation. Take your glass and look at it carefully. Think of where this water came from today. And where did it come from before that? Was it deeply under the earth, bubbling up for the sheer joy of lifting to the surface? Did it flow down from the mountaintops, starting as a trickle and gathering power until it found itself in your sink? You are connected to this water already. Touch for a moment the joys and sorrows that flood through your mind. Allow them to race through you like a powerful stream, just for a moment. Now pause. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let the flow cease to move. Allow it to settle as sediment in water slowly settles to the bottom. And now allow your out breath to release the torrent. Your next in breath will be gentler and calmer. Think now of your own body. Your brain and your heart are made of 73% water. Looking at your glass, feel your own thirst. You need this water. It is here for you. With gratitude for the nourishment of water and appreciation for the gift of water, slowly bring the glass to your lips. Sip slowly. Taste this water as if for the first time. Feel the water as it works its way through your throat. Such joy, such comfort, such good health. As we do this together, we are connected as human beings who need the same thing. Water is life. For the gifts of water, we are truly grateful. And as I say amen, let us take one more sip together in a true water communion. Amen. And now with great joy, I announce our choral video anthem put together by Chris Hess with Julia Jeff, Nate Ramsayer, and Elizabeth Walsh, and our sanctuary choir singing together, Down to the River to Pray.
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sister, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sister, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down
I get to actually clap because I have my volume on. So I clap for all of you that I see clapping. Such a gift. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Rip. Thank you, Julia, Nate, and Beth. You're such a blessing to our community. Every year we gather for water communion, Ingathering, and a regular part of that is we all bring waters together from where we have been, and we'll oftentimes share what it is that we look forward to the year ahead, or we'll share where we brought the water from, perhaps from the south of France, or kayaking amongst islands in Maine, or perhaps just your backyard because you had a time at home that year. Many of us have spent a significant time at home this year. And yet, we still need to mark this time. Ritual is such an important part of a faith community, any community, that we have the regularity of doing an action together. It tells us that we belong together. It gives us an idea of who we are beyond ourselves. Our ritual today, in this special, different way of doing Ingathering and water communion, will be in two parts. So I hope that you have a bowl of water, and maybe you have the water from your water glass from our prayer. You can pour some of that water into your bowl. Or if you need to add some water from everybody's glass, if you have more than one person gathered around your Zoom, I invite you to share your waters together in a bowl. And I want you to look around the Zoom room right now and see who might be pouring water into their bowl and who is gathered here today. We have 92 connections happening here today. We all have our water. I hope many of you have your chalice or your chalice. And so you will need the coffee filter paper and a water soluble marker. And you will need your cardstock and any other marker or pen that you desire. You may also use the same one as you did for the coffee filter paper. We are 6 months into pandemic. We spent the first few months living as many of us had never imagined we would before. And then continuing on in the past few months, many of us have had to return to some level of normalcy, or we've had to make choices that we never thought we'd have to make about, is it safe to go visit grandma? Is it safe to go out to have a meal together with friends and family? Who's in my pod? Who isn't in my pod? How much should I exercise? What am I eating for comfort food? All of these questions have a different way in our lives than they did before the pandemic. We're 6 months in, and I'm sure that many of us have had parts of our life emerge or become focused on in a way that we do not like, that we wish they did not exist in this way. And we noticed them probably around April or May, tried to pretend they weren't there, maybe in June, July, August. We're like, oh, that's still part of my world. I don't like this. And as Anne mentioned earlier, water can be so cleansing. It can wash away that which we do not desire. And so I invite you to take your water soluble marker and your coffee filter paper. And on this paper, please write what it is that you wish to put down. Is it your perfectionism? Is it, I don't want to keep eating the same things I keep eating that are driving me to boredom and I want to just stop? Is it that you want to be more patient and you want to put down your frustrations? What is it that you wish to have washed away and be in the past that you have seen creep up too much in this pandemic time for you. So I invite you to write this on your coffee filter paper. If you don't have your coffee filter paper, or even if you do, everybody is invited to put into the chat, what is the yuck that you want to put down right now? What is the icky thing that's making you not feel like you, that has crept in the past 6 months, that you don't want that to be around? Write it on your paper, place it into the chat, and you can share with us. So I'll take a second to do that. When you have written onto your paper, fold it and place it, if you need to, depending on how big your bowl is, and place it into your water and stir it, move it around. Wash it out of your world. And then marvel that you can wash it away with water. You can go down to the river and put it down. Part of ritual is that we bring our whole selves to that opportunity to be in community. And I wanted to do this ritual with you all today because everything isn't always happy and fun. And that there are silver linings that we've all discovered during pandemic. And I don't think we talk enough about how hard it's been outside of maybe just one or two people. But I know it is difficult for everybody in their own way, whether you are parenting during this pandemic, which is its own special, fantastic animal, or you're grandparenting through this pandemic and all of a sudden you're a homeschool expert for your grandkids so that your children can continue their professional lives. And you did not think retirement was going to look like this. And if you are lonely because you haven't had a hug in 6 months, I haven't hugged my mother in 6 months. Nobody has. She's immunocompromised. This is a very difficult time. And I want to send those of you in this difficult time what my kids have been doing when they have seen from a distance their nanny, which is air hug, air hug. And so I send to all of you air hug. And let us put down that which is not serving us anymore. Now, we still have to make safe choices. We still have to make the decisions that are going to move us forward. There's a big thing happening in like 6 weeks that we are all pinning many hopes on. And we have a lot of work to do to get there. There's also so much justice work that we have seen swell up. There is a lot of family work that we may have overlooked until we were very close together for the past 6 months. So whatever it is that you want to focus on going forward, we've washed away that which we don't need any longer. What is it that you want to make permanent in your life? What is the silver lining that you have found strength in, that you can move in the way towards justice, peace, comfort, love, for not just those that you know and care about, but for everybody who needs that all over the world? So I invite you now to think forward. Where is it that you wish to go? What is it that you wish to invite more of into your life? Maybe you want to focus more on seeing the details, the quiet, the peacefulness in days that you were too busy before the pandemic to notice, the little things that you didn't realize your kid was doing, but now you have the time to see everything unfold. Maybe it is the ability to see and read more clearly what is being called for in Black Lives Matters movements and other anti-oppression work in this country that you didn't have the time to pay attention to until now. And now you do, and you are so excited and you want to just read more and do more and be part of something greater than yourself, even if it's from your couch. So please write down on your cardstock what it is that you wish to keep pushing towards in your life. And again, we can put that into the chat. And I see already Denise Dracup has says more creative cooking. And I'm with you, Denise. I'm nailing the sourdough thing, gotta tell you. For those of you who are more artistically inclined than perhaps others, I invite you to decorate the living daylights out of your cardstock, make it as pretty as possible. Maybe post it up on your fridge, put it on your bed table, put it on the coffee table so that you see it on a regular basis. What is it that you wish to focus on? And because I want to move into more joy right now, more positivity, I'm just going to read some that I see coming up in the chat. Postcards to voters seeking more trust, intentionally working for this election, trust in non-separation. Oh, that's a great one, Annie. Thank you so much. Resilience. There are so many positive things we can move forward. We are still going to be in a pandemic. Things are still going to be hard. We all have new ways of existing and being and caring and teaching and loving, and we can do them all because we are a strong community. And I know that we have been leaning on each other, and we will continue to do that and be there for one another. Lowering stress levels, I like that one too. That's a great one. So please continue to post what it is that you wish to hold on to going forward in this time. And while we enjoy seeing, oh, there's a new dog. There's a new dog. We're going to have to see that new dog. But while we do that, I invite you all to continue posting, but also join in singing one of the hymns that is a favorite of so many of us, Blue Boat Home. The lyrics will be on the screen for you.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim song, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
As we prepare for the close of worship, I invite you all to stay for breakout rooms for a coffee hour. After Rip plays his beautiful Vivaldi Allegro, he will transition into quieter music. And if you're not staying for coffee hour, if you could sign off at that point, and our tech wizard, Pete Tasker, will divide you into breakout rooms for about 8 or 10 minutes. And you can visit with each other during that time. After coffee hour this morning, there is a very important presentation to the congregation by the task force that has been exploring the potential sale of some of our land. So I hope that you will stay for that presentation. It's right after church, right on this same Zoom link. So just stay on and you'll be able to hear that important presentation. After the presentation, I would really hope that all of you will sign up to be part of one of the 5 listening circles that we've established through this week, because I know that even the possibility of looking at sale of some of our land will raise a lot of opinions within this congregation. And those opinions are all welcomed and all part of us coming together to make wise decisions and informed decisions. So the link for the Sign Up Genius will be in the chat. And if you're not a person that wants to do it that way, please call our new church administrator, Pratik, in the office this week, and he can help you sign up to be part of one of the listening circles so that you can be part of this important work that we are facing as a congregation. And now I invite you to listen to our benediction with words by Denise Levertov. As swimmers dare to lie face to the sky, and water bears them, as hawks rest upon air and air sustains them, so would we learn to attain free fall and float into Creator Spirit's deep embrace, knowing no effort earns that all surrounding grace. Amen.
Bravo, Rip. Welcome home. Oh, he did.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh. No, maybe this is a quieter rendition.
Hey, everybody. Who's on mute?